One of the biggest myths in land and property in Ireland is if you buy a plot of land anywhere and you build houses or apartments or duplexes and you sell them, that you're going to make a fortune. And unfortunately, that's not the case, and it's certainly not the case at the moment, given all the issues with inflation, build costs, rising interest rates, market uncertainty, etc., etc. One of the main reasons for this, and I'll just do this mark up here to show you, is that at a very high level, if you're a developer inside Dublin, your sales values are very likely going to exceed 400 quid a square foot. Might drop below that sometimes in some areas. Generally, your sales values, all other things being equal, are going to be north of 400 quid a square foot, and in quite a lot of areas, they go for multiples of that. If you go to one of the big five, with the exception of Dublin, so that would be Waterford, Cork, Limerick, and Galway, and even throw Belfast into this as well, for those of you in the north, your sales values, even in the really, really nice areas, often don't exceed 300 quid a square foot. I'm not saying there's not areas where they do, because there are. But just for the purpose of this, like I said, all of the things being equal, you're lucky if you get to 300 quid a square foot. Now, the problem this throws up is that build costs across the country are much of a muchness. Obviously, it's more expensive to build in Dublin due to increased labour costs, but it's not that much different, right? So if you're a developer in Dublin, let's say your build costs, pure build, to put the walls, roof, put a slab in, M&E, to actually just construct the units themselves, XVAT. Let's say you can build it for 150 quid a square foot, and your sales values are, north of 400 quid a square foot. That gives you plenty of room to pay for land values, to finance the scheme, by finance I mean to pay for interest on finance, to pay local contributions, to pay for infrastructure to come into the site, and still make a profit, right? There's plenty of room for manoeuvre. And those areas where your sales values are 500-600 quid a square foot, this is where you see people making super money, assuming they've paid the right amount of money for the land. When you go down the country outside of Dublin, people are building pretty much, the same. So, I said, it's very rare at the moment you see people building for less than 150 quid a square foot. So if let's say for instance, you've seen a nice plot of land in Cork, and you've done your comps and you see that the sales values are going to be in the region of 250 quid a square foot. Well, that presents you with a problem, because, hang on, it's going to cost me 150 quid a square foot to build these things. Like I said, you've got to finance it. You've got to pay for the land. Got to pay local authority contributions. All of this stuff has got to go into the pot. There's got to be a contingency in there. They're going to leave you with any money left or any room for manoeuvre. And a lot of these areas, the sales values don't even meet 200 quid a square foot. So it would actually cost you more money to build the units, pay for the land, finance the land, pay the local authority, than it would to than you get from the sales value. So you'd actually be building them at a loss, which is obviously where developers are going bust at the moment. Now, this is creating several issues. One is obviously houses are not getting built, thus the massive deficit across the country, certainly outside of Dublin. Two, landowners, they're stuck with land that they thought was worth fortune. Many of these landowners have actually gone and spent time and money and carried out surveys, obtaining planning permission for land that nobody has bothered to tell them that along the way is worthless on the private market. And the other issue is, developers who have died to get on their bike and start building, they're not doing so. And this is obviously affecting the economy. This means people are not making money as developers, and obviously they're not as employing as many people as they probably would have been. So it's creating 3 or 4 really large problems which obviously need to be addressed. From my point of view, I've been looking at stuff down the country for clients, and there seem to be 2 ways around this. Okay, First potential opportunity is for landowners and developers to start entering into joint ventures. Now, I won't go into the minutiae of this because it could go on for a while, but effectively, landowner brings his land to the deal, and the developer brings time, money, and expertise. Everything goes into the pot, and then they agree a split at the end. This might not be ideal for landowners, and I know a lot of people are risk averse, but you know what? If you're sat on land that's worth 10 grand an acre, agricultural value, then it might be worth a risk. Might be a risk worth taking. Sorry. So yeah, that's certainly something to look into. The obviously benefit for the developer of this is not only can the land be used as collateral against development finance, but it also reduces financing costs. So if you imagine a developer was going to pay £1 million for land, he would have been paying that finance from day one until the day the last unit was sold. So if you take that finance out, often over a 2-3 year period, sometimes less, sometimes more, that's a big chunk of money that can go onto the bottom line. And also if the land goes in as collateral, that will often reduce your financing cost, which again would be additional money that can go to the bottom line. The second option is for developers, and I know a lot of people are doing this, to start approaching housing associations, local councils, and looking to joint venture on those with land for alternative types of tenure other than private. Okay, so this could be cost rental, affordable, social, or obviously a big one at the moment would be emergency housing. I know not obviously everybody wants this on their doorstep, but there is an urgent requirement and therefore an opportunity for developers. Obviously this stuff isn't just affecting residential. There's obviously problems with trying to get commercial land to stack up as well. So yeah, maybe start looking at mixed use and seeing how you can work with these, local authorities and, like I said, approved housing bodies to get these deals over the line. And yeah, I think the important thing is to start being creative. Obviously, from a finance point of view, there's a lot of financing companies out there looking to fund the right development. So if you can make it more appealing to them, obviously that creates a win-win as well, doesn't it? So those are two potential creative solutions that might help you start getting these deals over the line, certainly outside of Dublin. And hopefully you find that useful.